Hey, my name is Ria Waller, and I'm going to be your instructor for CIT15 Computer Concepts at Fresno City, 100% online, but really, for this semester, we're all online, every class. So for this class, this is normally a class that is offered in the online mode and in the face-to-face mode, but this semester, because as I said, everybody's online, all sections are online. I teach at Fresno City. I teach inside the business education area, inside the CIT department, Computer Information Technology department. I specialize in web development. I mostly teach programming classes, but I am excited to teach CIT 15 this semester. This video will give you an overview, general overview, because you're going to learn about this class as we move into it. But I'm going to give you what you need when you need it. Okay, show you how it will work, show you how the grade is calculated. These are just general things to give you how to get started. Okay, so I hope you enjoy our time together. It's my desire to create a fun learning experience for you where you are spending most of your time doing the work and not trying to figure out how to do the work. That's my goal. So I'm glad you're here. I know you have choices in what classes you take, and I appreciate you being here and look forward to connecting with you. So what you can see here is I'm actually already in Canvas. In my screen, I'm looking at what you're going to see. You're here at the start here. This video is that video. And so what you can see is if I scroll down just a little bit, there's some course content. So this is week 1, right? So I'm releasing this video Saturday before the start of the semester. So in case you want to check it out before Monday, you could totally do that. If you do it on Monday, that's good too. Here's what I want you to know. All the work for that week is going to be due the following Monday night. So we start on a Monday. You're going to have the 7 days until the next Monday at midnight to complete the work that I've assigned for that week. Now, what that can mean sometimes is students will only come in at the end of the week. And that's probably, and I get this, right? I get that there's so many demands on your time that it's like, I'm just going to schedule right before the due date to do things. It's probably not the best strategy, right? So here's why. There's going to be things in this week. So let me just kind of scroll through here and look at it. Some of this is just information, like how to register for Myit Lab. That's the required system for this class. And so I'm going to talk about that as I move into the syllabus in just a second. Right? How to get Microsoft Office for free. These are just things to help you, right? Because why would you need Microsoft Office? Well, there's going to be 3 times this semester. You actually are going to have Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. I believe that's true, to actually create something, follow along, do a actual lab test, right? So that's why you need it, and it's free. So then there's also like a little mini lecture. Brian Baker, who is our one of our fellow IT and CIT instructors, has created some really great content that you'll see me use once in a while. And then it talks about computer science and change. So here's all the content, right, for this week. And then here's your graded items. And you'll see this each week. You'll have content that you'll want to consume. And really it's there to help you also prep for doing the 3 graded assignments. Now, that might vary, but in general, it's always 3 items, right? So think about this, and this is where I was heading before, is if you wait until that last minute to do something, it's going to feel overwhelming because it's like, okay, now maybe this week I do introductions. Oh, I have to do chapter 1 quiz. So I'm actually going to have to take a quiz. Well, in order to take the quiz, in this case, probably want to go ahead and get into the ebook, right? So you want to actually do that. Well, where's the ebook? Well, the ebook's located inside Myit Lab. Well, Myit Lab is what the required material for this course is. And in order to complete the lab, the Windows Lab 1, that's all in Myit Lab. So you see where in this week, it's all about getting you set up. That introduction thing is really a discussion, to where we get to know each other. The quiz and the lab test is in Myit Lab. These are very common. You're going to see each week we have a quiz, and each week we have something from Myit Lab, and then some additional assignment based on what we're doing that week. Again, you have a week to do it. Would I wait? I can't tell you what to do. I can suggest, and so I'm going to suggest to you, schedule some time, look at the work you need to do, attempt to do it early. Here's the other reason why. In my class, if you don't complete something by the due date, I'm actually going to allow you to submit it, but when it's late, it's discounted 25%. So do it on time. You get all the points possible, right? So I am going to grade it based on the points possible. Like we have 20 points here. Sometimes it'll be 100. But in that case, remember, it's a 25% discount of the total points available. Now, here's where I'm going to stop for just a second. There's a lot of information in week 1, and it's coming at you in left and right, okay? So in this video, just kind of let it soak in. Like, watch it. Here's the other thing I'd suggest. Watch it twice, right? So I'm going to scroll back up for a second and drop my video here. I'm going to show you something I recommend you do. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to right click onto the syllabus. Now, why am I doing that? So I can move back and forth. It's just a technique I use to help me make my life easier. And so what you can see here is there's a breakdown. There's information from me. Here's how to find me. Here's my office hours. These are important things. Here's a course description. And probably the thing most students want to get to, which, by the way, these are good. Like, what are we going to be doing, right? What are we going to be focused on? Well, it's computer concepts. So, of course, all things, not all things, but a wide look at the thing called computer and concepts, which we know is everywhere for many of us. Here's your student learning outcomes. And here's the thing that, like, what's required from me, right? What do I need to take this class in what you would think traditionally think of as a textbook, right? So instead of a textbook, you need to buy access to a site called Myitlab. All right, we actually have a video for you in week 1. Brian did the video to actually help you walk through that setup. And so what you'll see here is that here's the course, our course specific number, right? So when you're setting up, when he shows you in there what do you need, you need this number in order to register into our Myitlab course. Okay? So again, week 1 video, if I go back over here, it's going to show you how to do that, how to register, right? How to register for Myitlab. Hey, by the way, I'm going to give you a little warning. There is a little bit of language in this first one. I do make an optional, but I think it's worth listening to because, when you're beginning something new, fraught with all kinds of challenges. So let me go back to the syllabus. Okay. So each week you're expected to complete the work, right? Missing 2 weeks of work is actually going to subject you to drop. And you can read the drop policies. By the way, anytime you take a new class, you really need to go through and look at and ask any questions. And this is what I was talking about before with the due date, right? So you have work due once a week. Now, what is that week? That week ends differently maybe than we think of a month, Sunday to Sunday, depending on how you think of when the week begins and when it ends. So for us, right, it begins on Tuesday morning. It ends on Monday night. So read through that. Here's the key to is you have to have the Myitlab by the 3rd week or you get dropped. And don't do that, right? Because the thing is, we're going to cut off the ability, and this is one of those hard things to talk about because it's $79. We have attempted to try to make it cheaper, but it is still a price. I understand that. But you can't pass this class without getting it. There's just no way around it. Now, why do I say that? Well, let's look over here. Quizzes, you need Myitlab. Labs, you need Myitlab. Practical exams, those things where I said you need Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, Myitlab. Final exam, Myitlab. There's only 20% of this class that is not Myitlab. So you have to have Myit Lab. If you don't get it, it's a real indicator. Now, I get that there's various challenges, right? You can do a trial account. They do give you that option. Okay. So I do give you a link here to the Myit Lab, so you can go ahead and take a look at that. It's up in here, right here, the Myit Lab link. It is also in each week. Like if I click over here, right? So your first assignment is in here. And also in the Myit Lab, which I'm going to show you just briefly before I end this video, is just how to find, where are the labs at, where is the ebook at? Because in order that you don't actually get a regular print, you can request one if you want, but you need, when you're taking these chapter quizzes, helpful to have the ebook. Okay. So let me go over here. So I'm not going to show you because you need to look at this, how to register for Myit Lab. But once you get in, this is what it's going to look like. And this is where I get it, right? So it's like first I'm in Canvas and then I'm dropping into Myit Lab. It's like, what's the difference, right? Well, it's just different systems. It's different websites. They don't know about each other. So when you're doing work, specifically labs, I'm going to show you, I actually created a video just a few minutes ago for how to actually submit your score from that. Okay. But let's say in this case, you want to work on one of the chapter quizzes. What you do is, and all the due dates are going to be in Canvas. So don't worry about finding them here. Every due date that you need is going to be in Canvas, not in Myit Lab. So in this case, when I come to course materials, there's that Windows 10. Okay. That's where you would find and if you click into here, you have, and I talk about this in the video, so you can check that out later. You have a training, which will prepare you for the exam. The exam is what you get scored on. Okay. So again, watch that video to give you more instruction there. So what we want to do though, is we want to find, in this case, we want to find, and I have to actually look for it. I thought it was clear. I want to find the actual, hang on just a second. Okay, I'm glad I did that because I actually needed to make it available. So again, in Myit Lab, most of the time what you're going to be doing is course materials. Under course materials, you're going to find, and I notice it takes just a minute here, and these don't work great on portable devices. You can try, but I'm just going to tell you, especially if you're taking the lab test, you need a full system to do that. So in this case, when you go to course materials, you're going to go, to course materials again, and here's where you find the ebook. Okay, so when you click into here, again, another link, but now you have access to the ebook. Okay, there is also a book for Office 2019, which is great, but this is the one that you really will have most of the time. You'll be bringing this up, and this is where reading is great. Reading the chapter will help you take the chapter quiz. Taking the chapter quiz will help you get into the material, right? So these are great things. Just, again, I can't tell you exactly how to do it. I'll tell you my recommendations. But in here, if you click into here, right, and again, until you set up the Myit Lab, you won't be able to step through doing this. So the sooner, the better. As you see, you're going to need it week 1. So here's the chapter 1, right? Here's the chapter 2, and so on. And so you can also search, which is great. You can use that when you're looking for things. So coming back here, right? So I've shown you, you're going to need the Myit Lab. If you don't get it by the 3rd week, they're going to cut off the ability to get it. You're going to need that. That's where you find your ebook for taking the chapter quizzes. It's where you also find to do the labs. And each week you will need that. So getting it now is a good idea. You have a complete week. In order to complete the items due, I recommend scheduling some time during that, schedule. I do this. It's like put in my schedule. Okay, I'm going to work on this now so that I am not so stressed out because anything can happen, right? and maybe work on your procrastination skills if that's something that plagues you. It plagues many of us. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to talk about here is like if you want help, totally reach out to me. You can email me through Canvas. That's the best way. I'm also going to suggest there's this discussion board, which is, by the way, where in the week these actual discussions are. But there's a peer support discussion point in here. And this is just great to talk about, right, to other students, like help out if somebody's in here. You can also do what's called subscribe to this. I will subscribe to this so that if it is a time I can, I'll come in here and do it. But and the reason I say that is sometimes you're working late at night. I typically am an early morning person. I get up, and by the way, I grade every morning unless something happens. But I have a routine in the morning. I bet you all do. I get up, have my coffee, go work out if I'm in that schedule, get home, start looking at my classes, and then I try to get out and get a little exercise outside. I think that's an important thing to do right now. I always have been somebody that enjoys the outside and getting exercise. So anyway, that peer support is a way to do it. I may, and by the way, also coming to my office hour, great idea. Those are Zoom, right? So I'm guessing you've been on Zoom, but if you'd like me to provide a little more Zoom content, please let me know. Totally could do that. All right, I think I've provided enough information, probably too much. Again, doesn't hurt to watch this twice in case you make sure, because most of the time, here's what happens. Students ask me questions that I've covered in these videos, which I get it. Like, it's too much information. It's just easier to ask somebody. But also learn to self-serve too, right? Because, if you can get the answer in content provided, it will help you because you can get the answer immediately and move on and get what you need. But regardless, I want you to get what you need. This is a semester unlike anything we've ever experienced at Fresno City in our county, in the state, in the country, and in the world. We're all learning how to be more flexible. So thank you for being flexible. I will attempt to do the same wherever I can, and I look forward to seeing you. Peace out.